The story takes place at Prescott School, a secret government facility where orphaned girls are trained from childhood to become elite assassins. Emotions are forbidden, and obedience is absolute. Principal Hardman drills one rule into them: attachment is a spy's deadliest weakness. But student 83 is the exception. 83 has always longed for a family, but at Prescott, that hope is a distant dream. Isolated and envied especially by her rival, 84, her brilliance sets her apart. Chosen as the first to be activated for a mission, she retrieves a briefcase from a target with swift, practiced ease, proving herself an unstoppable force. Her first mission offers 83 a rare look at the outside world, where the simple lives of others stir envy and longing. She imagines a life without missions or danger, a life of freedom. On her next assignment, watching carefree children only intensifies her sense of isolation. Each movie and story pulls 83 deeper into the teenage life she longs for, offering a brief escape from Prescott's harsh reality. Back at school, she's assigned a high-stakes mission: capture Victoria Knox, a deadly arms dealer known for targeting Prescott agents. The choice fuels 84's envy. Before the briefing, 83 is caught reading a teen magazine, earning a scolding from Headmaster Hardman, who still entrusts her with the mission. Facing the cunning and dangerous Knox, 83's mission tests more than her skills. It pushes her loyalty and strength. She fakes capture, then quickly takes down Knox's guards. In one swift move, she attaches a balloon to Knox just as a plane hooks the line, lifting them skyward. But Knox pulls a hidden gun and shoots 83, sending her tumbling into the river below. Aboard the ship, Knox meets Hardman, their unsettlingly familiar exchange hinting at a shared past. Below, 83 survives the fall unscathed. As Hardman calls for her, a rebellious thought takes hold: freedom. She drops the radio, knowing it makes her officially inactive. In that moment, she breaks from Prescott's grip, ready to chase the life she's always dreamed of. To escape her past, 83 assumes a new identity as Megan Walsh and joins a student exchange program. She chooses the cheerful Larson family in Newton, America, as her hosts. Welcomed warmly by Mrs. Larson and her son Parker, Megan hesitantly accepts the embrace. But Liz, the daughter, remains cold and distant, unimpressed by the newcomer. Megan mistakenly hugs a man she thinks is Mr. Larson, only to learn Mrs. Larson is divorced. Touched by her host's kindness, Megan feels grateful. At dinner, she bonds with Parker, an aspiring ninja, while Liz stays cold and distant. Later, in her room, Megan starts planning her new life, using magazine clippings to build a cover map, though it leads to her overdressing for her first day of school. Megan quickly becomes the center of unwanted attention, bullied by classmates. Reluctantly, Liz offers her a quirky backup outfit, a small act of kindness that leaves Megan both touched and confused. After changing, she waits nervously to be introduced until Roger appears, offering a calm reassurance that helps steady her. Roger, who works in stage lighting, is unfazed when Megan accidentally insults his job by misquoting an article. Still, he's kind to her, becoming the first to show real warmth. He gently warns her to tread carefully, as the school bullies can make life tough. Megan's moment finally came, but it quickly turned sour as Gooch. The school bully humiliated her in front of everyone. Just when things seemed unbearable, Cash, the golden boy, swooped in. With his smooth voice and magnetic presence, he sang a song just for Megan, capturing her attention and every other girl's. He reassured her and offered her a spot in his band, Emoticon, unlocking a thrilling new chapter in her life. Cash continued performing, his voice energizing the crowd and drawing cheers. At lunch, the cheerleaders invited Megan to join them, but she politely declined. Remembering the manipulative tactics from Mean Girls, she suspected they'd humiliate anyone who let their guard down. With that, she left the cafeteria and headed to her first class, nerves tingling with both anxiety and curiosity. Megan sat next to Roger, instantly feeling at ease as they bonded over clever wordplay. When the bell rang, the teacher announced partners for the next day. Megan's gaze lingered on Cash, her interest obvious. As Cash left, Gooch slapped Megan across the face. But instead of backing down, she quickly took him down with precise moves, leaving the class in stunned silence. That night, she snuck into the lab to change the seating chart, ensuring she'd sit next to Cash. The next morning, she confidently took her seat beside him, feeling everything falling into place. But her plans quickly unraveled as an argument broke out, and Megan found herself facing off with several girls vying for Cash's attention. The teacher chose Cash as the lab assistant, a decision Megan saw as biased due to his popularity. After class, the two girls who'd caused trouble earlier approached her with news of an opening for the school's mascot. Initially, Megan viewed the role as something for outcasts, but the girls convinced her it was a chance to get closer to Cash and create a special moment behind the scenes. Megan quickly grabbed the mascot costume and perfected her routine for the dance. Confident she'd be the only performer, she nailed impressive flips and ended with an energetic yell. Her skill and confidence didn't go unnoticed, and she was soon chosen for the role. After training at home, Megan grew uneasy when a suspicious truck began following her, trailing her all the way to school. On competition day, she confidently wore her Viking costume and performed energetically, but her excitement quickly turned to fear when masked men emerged from the truck and tried to abduct her. Outnumbered, Megan effortlessly took down the kidnappers using her Prescott-honed combat skills. With a swift throw, she hit one with an axe as he tried to flee. It turned out the kidnappers were from a rival school, part of a provocative tradition. Realizing she'd been deceived by the girls, Megan felt embarrassed and quickly left, hiding her disappointment from those around her. Roger tried to comfort Megan, but his efforts were futile. At home, overwhelmed with disappointment, she realized she couldn't fit in as a normal girl. High school felt harsher than her intense training. Hearing her sigh, Mrs. Larson approached with warmth, reassuring her that high school struggles were part of the journey. With a gentle smile, she reminded Megan to stay true to herself, reassuring her she didn't need to change for anyone. When Megan returned to school, the atmosphere had changed. The contempt was gone, replaced by admiration and applause. Her earlier fight had gone viral, becoming the talk of the night. Even her former bullies joined in the applause. Then Cash approached, eyes bright with excitement, inviting her to a jam session, cementing her place among her peers. Megan arrived early, but before settling in, Roger unexpectedly ambushed her. Instinctively, she took him down, leaving him breathless for a moment. As they talked, Roger noticed something odd when Megan casually mentioned martial arts moves, but he smiled warmly and listened with interest. Their conversation stayed light until Cash and his band arrived, bringing an energetic burst that livened up the atmosphere. Cash quickly pulled Megan aside to ask her opinion on his new song. As they talked, Megan realized that despite their connection, she and Cash weren't fully compatible, though the attraction was undeniable. Noticing her dreamy look, Cash invited her to Gooch's party, and she agreed. On her way home, Megan spotted a car trailing her, and soon the Prescott family had noticed her as well. Megan woke up bound to a chair facing Hardman. He accused her of working for another organization and trying to gather intelligence. Determined to force a confession, he injected her with a serum that blurred her senses and unleashed uncontrollable emotions. Tears filled her eyes as her vulnerability took over, and in a shaky voice she confessed. She didn't want to be an assassin. She just wanted to live like a normal girl. Hardman finally agreed to let Megan go on one condition. She must leave Newton and return to Prescott when she turned 83. Still dazed from the serum, Megan confronted Liz, the source of the tough persona she had tried to uphold. With newfound clarity, she urged Liz to drop the facade and form real connections instead of hiding her true emotions. Megan spoke her mind without seeking validation before the serum's effects caused her to pass out. The next day, at lunch with Roger, they shared a heartfelt conversation about their dreams. Megan expressed frustration, feeling she hadn't achieved anything significant, but Roger reassured her, saying she was always impressive to him. Despite Roger's comfort, Megan decided to let him join Cash at the table and invited him to Gooch's party. At home, she walked in on a heated argument between Liz and Mrs. Larson about whether Megan should attend the party, given her drunken state the previous night. Mrs. Larson stood firm, insisting Megan should go and suggested Liz accompany her for safety. They arrived at Gooch's house to find the party in full swing, loud music, drinks, and the lively atmosphere Megan expected. However, 84 Ake Heather was there, keeping an eye on Megan and trying to ruin her fun. With her charm, Heather quickly captivated the crowd. Meanwhile, Liz went to the bathroom where she found Gooch stumbling, clearly intoxicated. Gooch, recognizing Liz, offered her a tequila shot. Taking Megan's advice, Liz let her guard down and quickly joined the party's energy. Upstairs, Megan and Heather eyed Cash, but it was Megan who caught his attention, leaving Heather on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Liz and Gooch discovered shared interests in the bathroom, and their bond grew stronger. Roger arrived at the party and found Liz and Gooch enjoying the fun. After asking about Megan, he went downstairs and saw her kissing Cash, breaking his heart. He left in tears. The next morning, Liz, still drunk, was passed out on the couch. Cash invited Megan out for waffles, but felt guilty about leaving Liz behind. Meanwhile, Liz returned home with a new tattoo, and Mrs. Larson was furious. Megan had abandoned her. Despite the tension, Megan and Liz's bond grew stronger. On their way to school, Megan was unexpectedly stopped by Hardman. Hardman insisted Megan return to Prescott, citing Knox's escape and her safety. Megan, however, was resolute. She refused to go back, feeling her life at high school was finally improving. After a tense pause, Hardman relented but warned she'd be on her own when Knox came after her. Missing the bus, Megan opted to drive with Liz, savoring the freedom of the moment. Their bond grew as close as siblings with no barriers between them. Then, a strange car pulled up and fired shots at their vehicle. In an instant, Megan took control of the wheel while opening up to Liz about her painful past, how she was raised, and why someone wanted to harm her. Megan narrowly avoided a truck collision, swerving into an auto junkyard. But the pursuer kept following, trapping them in a dead end. A tense shootout ensued, ending in a crash. Miraculously, Megan and Liz survived. While inspecting the pursuer's car, Megan noticed Heather's familiar scent inside. At the hospital, Megan told Hardman what happened. But his shock grew when he heard Heather's name. He hadn't sent her after them and thought she had died when Knox escaped. Megan pieced together the clues and realized Heather had been working for Knox all along. She demanded her belongings from Hardman, but he refused, saying she was no longer part of Prescott. When Liz woke up, Megan apologized for hiding the truth and endangering her. Determined to protect the Larson family, she decided to leave. However, Liz begged her to stay. Just as Megan reconsidered, she saw a photo of Parker with her included as part of the Larson family. Touched, she hugged Parker, then returned to Liz, only to find Gooch standing beside her. After class, Liz agreed to join Megan in the fight against Knox. The next morning, Megan outlined their plan, and the two eagerly prepared for the return ceremony. As night approached, their excitement grew. When the guys picked them up for the event, it was clear Liz and Gooch were already hitting it off. Meanwhile, Megan and Cash felt awkward, unsure how to start their conversation. Megan tried to lighten the mood with a pun, but Cash didn't get it. Megan realized Roger was the only one who truly understood her, so she decided to break up with Cash before his concert. She apologized to Roger and confessed he was the one she wanted. However, Heather quickly stepped in and started a relationship with him. Frustrated, Megan confronted Heather, and their argument quickly turned into a violent fight. Heather attacked relentlessly, and as the chaos escalated, she grabbed a metal rod, swinging it with precision. Despite Heather's relentless pursuit, Megan fought back fiercely. She used a fire hose to strike Heather and pin her down, but Heather threw dust in Megan's face, forcing her to flee. As Heather searched for Megan, she revealed that Knox was targeting the Larson family. Just as Heather prepared to stab Megan, Liz intervened, knocking her leg out with a corn dog. Seizing the moment, Megan quickly subdued Heather, turning the fight in her favor. Filled with pride, Liz and Megan rushed home, taking down a guard along the way. Inside, Megan aimed her gun at Knox, but he shocked her by revealing she was the first Prescott #1. Before she could process this, another guard appeared and took Liz hostage. Cornered, Megan dropped her gun and surrendered, but quickly challenged Knox to a fair fight. They clashed fiercely, and just as Megan gained the upper hand, Knox pulled out a hidden gun. Parker threw a stun grenade, giving the Prescott group the opening they needed to storm the house. They swiftly overpowered Knox's guards, and Hardman finally captured him. Relieved, Megan hugged Hardman, who confessed his feelings for her and offered her a chance to return to Prescott as an undercover agent while still living with the Larson family. Back at the party, Megan noticed Cash and the teacher getting along but couldn't find Roger. As Roger headed home with his dad, Megan arrived in a helicopter, smiled, and confessed her feelings. She asked him out again, and he happily agreed. Joined by Liz and Gooch, the two couples soared into the sky, celebrating new beginnings. Megan had finally found the connection she longed for, making her life feel complete. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.